The auction surprise Jack stood at the edge of the crowded auction platform on Trade Moon Zeta 9. The place smelled like old fuel, sweat, and burned wires. Rusty machines, broken droids, and junked starships were lined up under flickering lights. It was loud. Voices shouted, bidders raised hands, and strange alien creatures moved through the crowd. Jack wasn't rich. He wasn't important. He was just a young mechanic with calloused hands and a dream to build his own ship one day. He came to the auction for parts, not a whole ship. He hoped to find cheap scraps, maybe a broken engine or a cracked power core. Then he saw her, not the girl, but the ship. It was old. A small silver vessel half covered in dirt and moss as if it had been pulled from a swamp. But something about it felt different. The curves were smooth, the hull still shining under the grime. A strange symbol glowed faintly on its side. It didn't match any human design. Jack nudged the auctioneer, a greasy alien with 4 eyes and a tail. "What's that one?" Jack asked. "Don't worry about that," the auctioneer said quickly. "Old cargo shuttle. Abandoned. Useless. Too risky. No one wants it." But Jack did. He didn't know why. But his gut told him this ship was special. When the bidding began, no one raised their hands. The auctioneer sighed, clearly annoyed. Opening bid, 5,000 credits. Silence. 4,000. Still nothing. 3. Okay. Who wants this junk? Jack raised his hand slowly. 1,000 credits, he said. Gasps filled the crowd. The auctioneer froze for a second, then slammed the gavel. Sold. To the human boy. Take it. It's yours. Jack was surprised. That was too easy. He had expected someone to outbid him, or at least ask why he wanted it. But everyone looked away, avoiding his eyes. The auctioneer came close and whispered, "Don't touch anything inside, just use it for parts, okay?" Then he quickly walked off. Weird, Jack thought. Later that evening, Jack parked the ship near his rented workshop. He climbed inside the dusty cockpit with a flashlight, looking for anything valuable. The air was thick and strange. The lights inside the ship flickered to life on their own. He moved through narrow hallways, checking systems and panels. The ship was quiet. Almost too quiet. Then he heard it. A soft thump. He froze. Another thump. This time louder. Jack's heart beat faster. He wasn't alone. He followed the noise slowly. Down the hall, past the sealed cargo door, into a small chamber with a strange round hatch on the floor. Suddenly the hatch opened. A figure pulled herself out. Tall, thin, and glowing faintly in the dark. Her skin was pale lavender, her eyes large and glowing blue. She had long white hair, thin ridged ears, and wore something like a tight silver bodysuit. She looked weak, like she hadn't eaten in days. Jack stepped back, shocked. She looked at him with wide eyes, then said in a soft, broken voice, "Please, don't sell me." Jack blinked. "What? Who are you?" She sat down on the floor, breathing hard. "My name is Saleya. I lived here. Long time I was hidden. They trapped me. This ship, it's my prison." Jack looked around. You were living in this ship?" She nodded. "Since the war. I was taken. Locked inside. I was sleeping. Stasis. You woke the ship. Now, I am awake too." Jack sat down slowly across from her. His mind was racing. He hadn't bought an old spaceship. He had accidentally freed a prisoner. No, not just any prisoner. A living, breathing alien woman, rare and beautiful. She looked like something from old legends. She was scared. She was real. Jack rubbed his face. "This is not what I expected." Saleya stared at him. "You own the ship now. That means you own me." Jack's eyes widened. "No, that's not. I don't own people." She tilted her head. "Then, what will you do with me?" Jack didn't know the answer, but one thing was clear. His simple plan, to buy parts and fix a shuttle, had just turned into something much, much bigger, and far more dangerous. The alien woman's secret. Jack didn't sleep that night. He sat on a broken chair inside the strange ship, watching the alien woman rest against the wall. Her breathing was calm now. She had curled up like a sleeping cat, her silver bodysuit torn, her hair glowing faintly in the dark. Jack's hands were shaking. What had he done? He only wanted ship parts. Instead, he found a living being, a woman from a species thought to be extinct. She had looked right into his eyes and said, "You own me now." The idea made him sick. When morning came, Jack made some warm tea and offered it to her. She took it, held it gently, and drank slowly, like someone who hadn't tasted kindness in years. "What's your name again?" he asked. "Saleya," she said softly. "And what happened to you? How long were you trapped in this ship?" She looked at the floor, silent for a moment. Then she began to speak. "My people were from a world called El Nari," she said. "We were known for light-bending technology. We did not fight wars, we shaped stars, but then came the Gull Rex." Jack leaned forward. He had heard of the Gull Rex, a violent alien empire known for enslaving weaker races. "They invaded our skies," she said. "They took our cities. They captured me during a peace mission. I was special. A scientist, a breeder class. They wanted to study me. I refused." Jack frowned. "Breeder class?" She hesitated. "Females of my kind, we have cycles. If we don't bond during the cycle, we become unstable, sick. They wanted to force it. Instead, I escaped, hid inside this ship. They locked the doors, put me into stasis." Jack was quiet. He looked around the ship's small room. "And no one came for you?" "No," she said. "They think my race is gone. I might be the last one." Those words hit him hard. He looked at her again. Alone, forgotten, trapped for years in silence. Suddenly she winced and clutched her side. Jack rushed forward. "Are you hurt?" She nodded. "Waking from stasis too fast causes sickness. My body is not used to this time." Jack helped her sit properly and grabbed a small med kit from his tool bag. "Let me help." As he cleaned a shallow wound on her arm, Saleya looked at him strangely. "You are different." "How so?" "Other species would have already sold me to a slave market, or tried to bond with me by force." Jack shook his head. "I'm not other species. I'm human." Her glowing blue eyes blinked. "Humans? I've only read about them. You're said to be from a death world." Jack smiled. "Yeah, Earth. Not the friendliest place, but we try." Saleya reached out slowly and touched Jack's wrist. "You freed me. That makes you my rescuer. My people. We used to have a law. If someone saves you and you're unbonded, you must offer them your life." Jack pulled his hand back, shocked. "Wait, hold on. That's not how things work anymore." "I know," she whispered. "But old instincts, they live deep inside me." A long silence followed. Then, something strange happened. The ship's lights began to flicker, but not from damage. They pulsed in sync with Saleya's heartbeat. Jack's eyes widened. "This ship, it responds to you?" She nodded slowly. "It was made from my DNA. Our ships are alive. They feel us." Jack stood up, nervous now. "Saleya, if your captors knew you were here, they'd come for you." "They already know," she said calmly. "The moment you powered the ship, it sent out a signal. I tried to stop it, but it's too late." Jack stared at her. "You mean we're being tracked?" She gave a slow nod. "Yes, and when they find us, they won't ask questions. They will take me back, or kill both of us." Jack felt cold all over. What had he gotten himself into? This wasn't just a ship, and this wasn't just a rescue. This was a war waiting to restart, and now he was right in the middle of it. But when Saleya reached out and held his hand with her glowing fingers trembling and afraid, Jack knew one thing: he couldn't walk away now. strange signals and shadowy eyes. The stars outside were calm, but Jack's gut told a different story. He sat in the cockpit of the alien ship, staring at the blinking monitor. Strange symbols danced across the screen, symbols he didn't understand. Saleya stood beside him, her face pale and her eyes fixed on the star map. "They're close," she whispered. "Who?" Jack asked, though he already knew the answer. "The Golrex, the ones who imprisoned me. They received the signal." Jack tapped buttons, flipping between screens. "There's nothing here. No ships on radar." Saleya didn't look away. "They use stealth hulls. Their ships become shadows. You see them only when it's too late." Just then, the ship's lights dimmed. Jack sat up straighter. "What was that?" Saleya moved to the controls. Her hands glided across the glowing interface. "They're jamming us, a soft field. We can't send messages, we're being locked in." Outside, the stars shifted. A faint blur appeared, like space itself had rippled. Jack's eyes widened. "That's a ship." The blur grew larger, slowly becoming the shape of a long black vessel with glowing red eyes on its hull. It didn't fly. It glided like a predator stalking prey. No sound. No light. Just silence and fear. Saleya spoke, her voice shaking. "That's a Golrex hunter class. They send only one when the target is weak." "They think we're weak," Jack muttered. Big mistake, but in truth he felt helpless. He didn't know the ship's weapons, didn't know how to fly it properly. The controls were alien. This wasn't a machine. It was something alive, something connected to Saleya. He turned to her. "Can we outrun them?" "Not in this form," she said. "The ship hasn't accepted you fully." "What does that mean?" "The ship is part of me. It senses you, but it doesn't trust you yet. You must bond with it." Jack frowned. "You mean, like you and I are bonded?" Saleya looked away. "Something like that. But faster, rougher. The ship needs a direct link." She held up a small, needle-like device. "This will connect your mind to its core, but it will hurt." Jack took a deep breath. "Stick me." Moments later, pain exploded behind his eyes. The ship screamed inside his brain. Colors, sounds, memories that weren't his. He saw Saleya's face from inside her own thoughts. He saw her fear, her loneliness, her dreams. Then the ship responded. Lights blazed. Weapons hummed. Engines powered up with a low roar. The Golrex hunter ship began to move, sensing the shift. "We have 30 seconds, Saleya said. "Fight or run?" Jack grinned. "Let's do both." He gripped the controls. Now they didn't feel foreign. They felt like extensions of his hands. He could feel the ship breathing, like it was alive, like it was waiting. He spun the ship hard, just as a red beam sliced past them. The hunter ship fired again, but Jack dodged, sliding between asteroid, rocks and shattered debris. "Hold on," he shouted. The alien woman braced herself as the ship dove, twisted and climbed through space like a wild animal set free. Jack pressed the trigger, and the ship fired a strange pulse. It didn't explode. It unfolded space around the enemy ship. The Golrex vessel twisted, its shadow field collapsing. "They're exposed," Saleya cried. Jack launched 2 more shots. One hit. The Golrex ship cracked open like a split shell. Smoke poured into space, but just before it exploded, a small pod detached and vanished in a blink. "They escaped," Saleya said. "They'll report this." Jack leaned back, sweat on his face. "Let them. We're not going to be easy prey." Saleya walked over and placed her hand on his shoulder. "You fought like a bonded warrior." "I just guessed most of it," Jack admitted. She smiled faintly. "That's the human way, isn't it? Acting without knowing, surviving what others can't." They sat in silence as the stars returned to stillness. But the peace didn't last long. From the darkness ahead, several blinking red dots began appearing on the map. Jack's smile faded. "What now?" Saleya stared at the screen. "More are coming." Jack stood. "Then we need answers. Why do they want you so badly? And what are you hiding, Saleya? She didn't speak for a moment. Then she looked at him and said quietly, "Because I'm not just a survivor. I'm carrying something they lost long ago." A deal of life and death. Jack slammed the control panel, frustrated. The red dots were multiplying. 4 Gullrex ships, now. All headed their way. Saleya sat in silence beside him, her face pale. Her glowing eyes stared at the star map like it was showing her the end of her life. Jack could feel it too. Something worse was coming. Not just a chase. Not just a capture, a hunt. They won't stop, she said finally. Even if we run, they will burn entire moons to get me back. Jack turned to her. Why? What are you not telling me, Saleya? She looked away. You wouldn't understand. Try me. There was a long pause. Then she took a deep breath and touched her stomach lightly, almost protectively. I wasn't alone in that ship's stasis chamber, she whispered. Something else survived with me, something I carry inside me. Jack's heart skipped a beat. You're pregnant? No. She shook her head. It's more complicated. My kind. We don't reproduce like yours. What I carry is genetic memory, the last pure strand of Elnari creation code. Our species made life from light, Jack. I carry the key to bring my people back. Jack's mind raced. That's why they want you. You're not just a prisoner, you're a threat. I'm a symbol, she said softly. If I survive, my people return. The Gullrex lose control. Their empire falls. Jack rubbed his forehead. So if they catch you, it's over? No, she said. They won't just kill me. They'll extract the code from me, twist it, and use it to make weapons. Monsters. Beasts shaped from my blood. Jack sat back in his chair. The weight of it all hit him at once. He was protecting the last seed of an ancient race, and the future of a war he never knew existed. But before he could speak again, the ship's comm system beeped. A voice crackled through, cold, metallic, and in a language Jack didn't understand. Saleya's. Face froze. What are they saying? He asked. She swallowed hard. They want to talk. Alone. No way, Jack said. It's a trap. They're offering a deal, she whispered. They say, they'll spare your life if you give. Yep. Jack's jaw tightened. He didn't answer. The screen lit up with a video feed. A Gullrex warlord appeared. He had a head like a hammerhead shark, glowing red eyes and metal armor fused into his scaly skin. Human, the warlord growled in broken English. You are weak. We respect survivors. Give us the female. You go free. No damage. We promise. Jack stared into the red eyes. And if I refuse? Then you die. Slowly, the screen blinked out. Saleya turned to Jack. They mean it. They'll destroy everything you love. Earth. Your kind. Jack looked out at the stars. His home felt so far away now. He could barely remember what grass smelled like, what it felt like to laugh without fear. But even now, in this mess, something inside him was solid, unchanging. He turned to her. I don't care if they threaten me, I'm not handing you over. She stared at him. Why? Because no one owns you, and I don't make deals with monsters. Saleya looked down, tears forming in her glowing eyes. Just then, an explosion rocked the ship. They've started firing, Jack yelled. We need a way out. But the ship wasn't responding. Saleya stood, her body glowing slightly. There's only one way. What is it? She walked toward the heart of the ship, a glowing orb in the center chamber. This ship has a memory drive. If I connect myself to it, I can rewrite its core, create a jump portal, but what? I won't survive it, she said. Jack grabbed her arm. Then we're not doing it. There's no time, she shouted louder than ever before. You don't understand. You have a future. You can spread the memory. You can rebuild. I am just the seed. You are the soil. Jack looked at her. Really. Looked. Her bravery, her fear, her strength. And then he said something that surprised even himself. Then we find another way. Together. He ran to the control core and pulled a second connector from the wall. "What are you doing?" she cried. "I'm bonding with it too. If we do it together, maybe we can share the pain. Maybe we both survive." Saleya stared at him, then slowly nodded. They both pressed the connectors into their skin. The ship lit up like a rising sun. The escape and the confession. The ship screamed, but it wasn't a sound. It was a pulse, a deep vibration that shook every bolt, every wire, every cell of Jack's body. He and Saleya stood side by side in the glowing heart chamber, their hands connected to the ship's living core. Energy flowed through them like lightning, but instead of pain, Jack felt memories, not just his, hers. He saw her childhood on a golden world full of light towers. He saw the day her sky turned red. The screams, the chains, the loneliness. He felt her hopes, her fear, her silence in the stasis pod for years as time forgot her. And then she saw him. Through her eyes, he was light in the dark. A warm voice. A hand that didn't grab, but reached out. Jack gasped and let go. The ship had changed. Where once it was dim and rusty, now it glowed with silver veins and soft white lights. The walls pulsed gently, like the ship was alive again, reborn with them. Saleya opened her eyes slowly. "We are one with it now." Jack stumbled toward the cockpit. On the star map, a golden tunnel of warped space had formed ahead of them. A augur slipstream gate crafted from her people's technology. "You did it," Jack said. "We can escape." "No," she said behind him, her voice low. "We did it." They entered the slipstream. The Gullrex ships fired, but the shots fizzled into nothing as the portal swallowed Jack's ship whole. Within seconds, stars became lines. The war was behind them, at least for now. Inside the ship, the air felt calm. Too calm. Jack looked back at Saleya. She was breathing hard, holding her chest. Her skin glowed too bright. "You okay?" he asked. She shook her head. "No, the bonding, that it was too strong. Our minds are linked now." Jack raised a brow. "Linked? Like, I can read your thoughts?" "Not thoughts," she said, sitting down. "Feelings, memories, instincts." He sat beside her. "That's not so bad, is it?" She looked down. "Jack, there's more. In my culture, when a female bonds her ship to a male, it's not just mechanical. It's spiritual. It's a mating ritual." Jack blinked. "Wait, what?" She nodded slowly. "Our ancestors believed that true bonding must be earned in battle, forged in survival. When I let you in, I didn't just link to the ship, I linked to you." Jack's mouth opened, but no words came out. Saleya smiled sadly. "I didn't mean to. I didn't think I would survive this long. But now, my body is changing." "Changing? How?" "My species adapts to their mate's biology. I'm becoming like you." Slowly, Jack leaned back, trying to breathe. This wasn't just a rescue mission anymore. This was becoming a life connection. "I never asked for this," he said gently. "I know," she whispered. "But you never ran. That's why the bond accepted you. That's why I did." They sat in silence. Then Jack asked, "What happens now?" Saleya looked at him with glowing blue eyes, softer now. "If the bond completes, we'll feel each other forever. Even if we're apart, even if we never touch again." Jack stared into space. "And if we break it?" She didn't answer, but her silence said everything. It would hurt her, maybe even kill her. Jack rubbed the back of his neck. "This is all a lot." She laughed, a small, gentle sound. "You handled a hunter ship, faced warlords, and survived a living core. And this scares you?" Jack smiled. "A little." She stood and held out her hand. "Then come with me. Let's learn who we are now." Jack took Her hand. It was warm, strong, and steady. The ship sailed through the golden tunnel quiet and safe for now. But both of them knew. The real journey was just beginning. More than just a bargain. The ship floated in deep space now, far beyond any known trade routes. Silent, safe, hiding, but inside, nothing was calm. Jack paced the control room, glancing back every few minutes toward the medical chamber. Saleya hadn't left the chamber in hours. She had collapsed after their escape. At first, Jack thought it was exhaustion, but then her skin began to shimmer with waves of light. Her temperature spiked. Her breathing became shallow. Now she lay on the medical bed, trembling, glowing like a star slowly breaking apart. The ship's AI, awakened by their bonding, spoke softly through the speakers. Her cellular pattern is in flux. Adaptive phase has begun. Warning: without a completed bond, subject may suffer total system failure. Jack clenched his fists. What do you mean, system failure? You mean death? Correction. Death is likely. Emotional, neurological, and reproductive systems are destabilizing. Jack stormed into the chamber. Saleya lay there, sweat on her face, her silver suit fused into her skin like it was being absorbed. Her eyes fluttered open. Jack, it's okay. This is normal. This doesn't look normal, he snapped, kneeling beside her. You're burning up, she smiled weakly. Because my body is choosing. It's choosing you. But if the bond isn't completed soon, it will reject the transformation. Jack shook his head. No. Don't talk like that, Jack, she said softly. We don't just bond with our minds. We must share energy, flesh, breath, my kind. We call it the joining. Once done, the change finishes. I'll survive. Jack felt the blood drain from his face. You're saying we have to? She nodded slowly. Yes, but not just for survival. It must be willing. It must come from trust. He stood up, panicked. Saleya, I didn't plan for this. This was never supposed to happen. I know, she whispered. You didn't choose this path, but you did choose me when no one else did. Jack turned away. His mind was a storm. This wasn't just some romantic moment. This was a crossroad. If he stepped forward, if he accepted the bond, it would change both of them forever. Not just lovers. Not just partners. Linked for life. She reached out a trembling hand. If you leave, I'll understand. But if you stay, I'll never leave you. Jack looked back at her. He remembered the first time he saw the ship. Old. Broken. Forgotten. Just like her. He remembered the auctioneer whispering, "Don't touch what's inside." But now he couldn't imagine not touching her hand. Jack stepped forward and took her fingers gently into his. I didn't want a bride, he said quietly. I just wanted parts. Saleya smiled. And I was just trying to survive. He leaned closer. But maybe we both found more. And in that moment, the ship reacted. The chamber lights dimmed. The walls shimmered with soft, silver-blue pulses. The air felt warmer, like it held its breath. Their hands glowed where they touched. Saleya gasped softly as her body stabilized. Her breathing calmed. Her eyes opened, clear and sharp. You chose, she whispered. Jack nodded. Yeah, I did. The AI voice returned. Bond complete. Host and mate link established. Transformation stabilized. Reproductive sync initiated. Jack plunked. Wait, reproductive what now? Saleya laughed. An actual laugh this time, full and bright. That part comes later. They both laughed despite everything, but the moment didn't last. The comm system crackled again. Unknown signal detected. Tracking beacon activated. Location may have been compromised. Jack sighed. Of course, can't catch a break. Saleya stood stronger now. Her movements were graceful, confident. Her skin no longer shimmered in pain. It shone with purpose. Jack turned to her. "Are you ready for what's coming?" She stepped beside him, eyes fierce. "With you? Always." As they walked to the cockpit together, the ship's path lit up, one destination glowing in the dark: Earth, home for Jack, and maybe now, for her too. The man who won an alien bride. The blue planet came into view, Earth spinning gently beneath the stars. Jack leaned forward in the cockpit, staring at it. It looked peaceful from up here, quiet, safe. But nothing about this journey had been safe. And peace was something he had stopped believing in, until he met her. Saleya stood beside him, her silver skin now calm and her posture proud. She wore a flowing dark blue robe created from the ship's living fabric. Her eyes, once filled with fear, now held only fire. "Is this your home?" she asked softly. Jack nodded. "Yeah, it's messy, loud, but it's all I've got." Saleya touched the glass. "Then I will help protect it." 20 minutes later, Earth orbit alarms screamed across Earth's orbital defense network as the alien ship approached. "Unknown vessel, no registration, high energy readings. Incoming on unauthorized path," a technician shouted. Command scrambled, jets and warning beacons. But before they could fire, a calm voice echoed from the alien vessel's transmission. "This ship is under the command of Jack Carter, Earth citizen. Emergency situation. Request safe landing." The message repeated in 27 languages. Confused, Earth granted permission. The ship descended, slow and glowing like a second moon, until it touched down in the Mojave Desert. A crowd gathered within hours. Soldiers, scientists, politicians, and cameras. The whole world wanted to know who landed the alien ship. And then they saw him. A man in grease-stained boots, worn jeans, and a dusty leather jacket stepped down the ramp. His hair was wild, his eyes tired. But when he held out his hand, and SAU, alien woman took it, gasps, flashes, weapons raised. But Saleya did not flinch. She walked with him, her head held high. One soldier stepped forward. "Sir, please stand down and identify the life form." Jack raised an eyebrow. "She's not a life form. She's my crew, my partner." Saleya added in perfect English, "I am his bondmate. I offer no threat unless you become one." The crowd froze. The tension was thick. Then suddenly, a scream from the sky. A burning black ship tore through the clouds like a meteor. The Gullrex had arrived. Seconds later, chaos lasers fired from the sky. The crowd scattered. Earth soldiers returned fire. Jets roared overhead. Dust filled the air. The Gullrex had sent one final hunter. A ship forged in hatred, designed for one thing: capture or kill Saleya. She stepped forward, hands glowing with alien energy. "No more running," she said. Jack ran beside her. "We do this together," she smiled. As one, their bonded ship rose behind them, by itself. Its living skin reshaped into armor and cannons. It moved like a beast awakening from sleep. Jack and Saleya stood their ground as the enemy ship landed hard, cracking the desert floor. The hatch opened. A massive warlord stepped out, twice Jack's height, covered in black spikes and glowing eyes. "You betray your species, female," the warlord hissed. "You choose a human?" Saleya lifted her chin. "I chose freedom." The Gullrex laughed. "Then die with him." He charged. Saleya raised her hand, and light exploded from her body. A shield of pure energy slammed into the warlord, knocking him back. Jack grabbed a plasma rifle from a fallen soldier. "Let's finish this. Together." They fought. Jack moved fast, dodging blasts, firing clean shots, drawing fire. Saleya danced like a goddess of war, bending energy and light, tearing into armor with her bare hands. Their ship hovered above, raining fire from the sky, covering them like a guardian spirit. The Gullrex screamed and launched a final blast, meant to end them both. Jack tackled Saleya, shielding her with his body. The blast hit. Dust flew. The ground cracked. Silence. Then, movement. Jack coughed, rising to one knee. "Still alive?" Saleya sat up, bruised but glowing stronger than ever. The Gulrex warlord lay defeated, his armor cracked, eyes fading. Saleya walked to him. "You lost," she said. "Your kind is dead," he growled. "Then I will bring them back," she whispered. "And this time, they will be free." With one final surge of energy, she ended it. An hour later, the World Watch's news broadcasts went wild. Alien bride saves Earth. Human mechanic defeats space warlord. Who is Saleya? Governments argued. Scientists begged for interviews. Protesters appeared. Supporters too. But Jack didn't care. He stood at the same desert clearing holding her hand as a crowd gathered. A world leader stepped forward. "What do you want, Jack Carter? You saved us. But what now?" Jack looked at Saleya, then back, at the cameras. "I didn't win a war," he said. "I didn't win a ship, I won a chance. She was forgotten, I just reminded her what she's worth. And now? Maybe she reminded us too." Saleya stepped forward. Her voice rang across the desert, her glowing eyes calm. "My name is Saleya, daughter of Elnari. I was taken, imprisoned, silenced, but I was never broken. I now stand not as a weapon, but as a wife bonded to a human who chose compassion over conquest." She turned to Jack, and in front of the world she said, "He didn't buy me. He didn't command me. He set me free, and in doing so, became my mate." Gasps. Silence. Then thunderous cheers. Jack smiled, embarrassed. "Guess this makes me the man who won an alien bride." Epilogue. Months later, in a small workshop. On Earth, Jack repaired old junk while Saleya tinkered beside him, humming softly. Their bonded ship rested nearby, half home, half living memory. They were rebuilding, not just a life, but a future. One bolt, one bond, and one love at a time. Phew. End.